Hey everyone, Jennifer here with the Family Fudge, and welcome to Bunches of Lunches. Now on this channel I share so many different kinds of lunch ideas, and I like to focus on lunches that are fun but also easy to make. Recently I've been getting so many requests to show lunch ideas that would be great for older kids and for teenagers. So that's exactly what I'm going to do today, and I want to thank Boxu for sponsoring today's video. Now go ahead and give this video a big thumbs up, hit that subscribe button if you're new, and with all that being said, let's get on to the lunches. Okay guys, I'm kicking things off with a charcuterie board inspired lunchbox. And the first thing I'm going to do is make a salami rose. Now I know this looks kind of fancy, but trust me you guys, it is so simple to make. In fact, this was my very first try ever. So let me show you how to make it. First, you're going to need to get yourself a cup, one that doesn't have too big of an opening, because after all, you want this to be able to fit in a lunchbox. So all I'm going to do is take a salami piece and I'm going to fold it over the rim of my cup like this. And then really, I'm just gonna keep going around like this, making sure to overlap these pieces until it is almost all the way full. You still want to have a little bit of opening in the center. Now before I flip this, I'm just going to squeeze it tightly together. Then you just turn the cup over and your rose should slide off really easily. Next, I'm adding this cup of classic garlic hummus. And then I think you can't have a charcuterie board without some kind of cheese. Now, of course, you could cut the cheese yourself, but to make this really easy, I'm just using this already cut store-bought cheese. Now, for a crunchy element, I'm going to be adding some crackers, and I decided to go with these pita crackers. They're light and crispy and so good with the meat and the cheese and the hummus. Now, I do want to add one more kind of meat to this charcuterie board lunchbox. So I'm just going to be taking some of this turkey pepperoni and I'm basically just folding this twice and then I'm adding it to a food pick. I really think with the charcuterie board, the idea is to just fill in all available spaces with something tasty. For the fruit, I'm adding an orange, and for the veggies, I'm adding a combination of both carrots and celery. Of course, those are going to be delicious dipped in the hummus as well. Now on the side, I'm adding a treat that's both sweet and savory. A little packet of trail mix. This is perfect for this season. This one's called Bunny Bait and it's a little bit salty and sweet. And now last but not least, for the drink, I'm adding something a little bit fancier than a Capri Sun or something a younger kid might like. This is actually a clementine and peach flavored sparkling water. For this next lunch, I'm going to be putting together a delicious deluxe club sandwich, but this time, instead of using regular bread that would probably get soggy in my lunchbox, I'm going to be using a bagel. And I actually have 3 different kinds of bagels, and I've decided to go with this one. Now to this bagel, I'm going to spread some room temperature cream cheese. When it's room temperature, it spreads a lot easier. And then normally, I like to flavor my cream cheese with ranch powder, but since this is for older kids and teens, I'm gonna add something a little bit spicier. This is a jalapeno everything bagel seasoning. Next to this club sandwich, I'm adding lettuce and tomato. And to these tomato slices, I am going to go ahead and season them with some salt and pepper. Next, I'm adding several slices of smoked turkey, followed by some bacon strips. I'm going to top that with some cheese, and then if you wanted to, you could also add some onions in here. I'm just adding a few little slices of a red onion. For the fruit, I'm adding a combination of both green grapes and blueberries. And for the veggie, I'm adding a combination of both baby carrots and cherry tomatoes. And again, all of these lunch ingredients are interchangeable, so if you don't like one of these ingredients, you can definitely easily swap it out for something you like better. Next up is the sweet treat, and for this lunch, I decided to go with these carrot cake Oreo cookies. Now, I'm not 100% sure, but I think these are only available in the springtime. The cookie itself has a lightly spiced flavor with cinnamon, and the filling of the cookie has a really tasty cheesecake flavor. So even if you're not a huge fan of a regular carrot cake, I still recommend that you give these a try. Now for a salty snack, I'm also going to add a bag of pretzels. I think pretzels go really well with this kind of sandwich. And then last but not least, for the drink, I'm going to be adding this new kind of juice pouch. This definitely looks a little bit older than your traditional Kool-Aid pouch. This flavor says it's a bold and tangy blueberry lemonade. Now I actually had to give this a sample myself.
It's a little bit sour, but I like it.
Now you guys, I am super excited about this next lunch, and that's because of our awesome sponsor, Boxu. Boxu is a premium Japanese snack box subscription service, and they deliver original assortments of Japanese snacks and tea pairings right to your door. Now, if you're new to this channel, I've spent quite a lot of time in Japan myself, and I can read a little bit of the Japanese on these packages, so I can't wait to give these a try. Boxu is the only Japanese snack box that partners with family snack makers, and some are over 100 years old. I love that these Japanese exclusive snacks can come right to my door. Each monthly box has its own unique theme, and you guys know I love a theme. So each boxu you get is going to come with new snacks every time. This particular box is the Sakura season box. So it's packed with all sorts of limited edition cherry blossom themed goods. If you guys have ever seen pictures of Japan during cherry blossom season, you'll know it is a beautiful time, and I'm really hoping to take my kids someday to experience it in person. Boxu is shipped straight from Japan with free shipping to the US, and if you use my code FUDGE10, you can get 10% off of your own authentic Japanese snack subscription from Boxu. Now, if you are a foodie like me and you love trying new snacks, don't miss out on this delicious snack journey through Japan. Now on to this awesome Japanese-inspired lunch. For the main course, I wanted to try to put together a konbini or convenience store style egg salad sandwich. Now technically, my favorite konbini sandwich is the fruit version, which I have made in another video. I will link it down below if you want to check it out. But the egg salad sandwich is definitely my number 2. First up, I'm going to start by chopping up the eggs. So now I've chopped up all of my hard-boiled eggs, and to this I'm going to add some mayo. But to be as authentic as I could, I'm going to be using this Kewpie mayonnaise. This is a Japanese mayonnaise and it is really good. To this mixture, I'm also going to be adding some salt and pepper, and I'm going to chop some green onions as well. Now you don't have to put these in here, but I really like them. And speaking of options, you can also add in some mustard if you'd like. I'm just going to add a tiny bit. Now, when I was hard boiling my eggs, I boiled a couple of extra to slice in half just like this, and you'll see what I'm going to do with these in just a minute. To prepare my bread, I am going to go ahead and cut off some of the crust, and then to the bread itself, I'm actually going to be adding a very thin layer of butter. This is going to help keep the sandwich nice and moist, and of course add a really nice buttery flavor to the egg salad itself. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to place these egg halves directly on the sandwich like this. Then I'm going to fill in all around with the egg salad itself. So yes, this is a super filled sandwich. It's not skimpy at all. Okay guys, the moment of truth. Can I cut this in half without it falling out? Not too bad. Now, to go along with this sandwich, I'm also going to be adding some strawberries. I noticed lots of strawberry flavored goodies in my boksu box. I can't wait to try those. And then for the veggie, I'm adding some carrot stuffed cucumbers, and I use my little sakura blossom cutter in the center. Now moving on to the salty snack. From my boksu box, I selected Fujisan shaped crackers. So Mount Fuji shaped crackers. And not only are these super cute, but each one is a different color and a different flavor. And with every boksu box, you're going to get a booklet that is the cultural guide, which will tell you all about each product. And when I was reading this guide, I found out that these crackers actually come from Saitama, which is the first area in Japan I ever visited, so it holds a special place in my heart. And then finally, for the sweet treat, I decided to go with the sakura pastry. It's kind of like two little pancakes with a filling. The center is soft and creamy and tastes like cherry. And her lunch idea definitely caught my eye because the main course is pizza. And I know a lot of teens specifically love pizza. Now I know there are so many different types and ways that you can make pizza, but for today's lunch, Shelly requested some pizza muffins. So for these pizzas, I'm going to be using 1 can of biscuit dough, a little bit of tomato sauce, some shredded mozzarella cheese, and I'm also using these mini pepperonis. Now, of course, you could also use any other kind of pizza topping that you prefer, but today I'm keeping things nice and simple. So I've already started by preheating my oven at 350 degrees. Next, I'm going to take my muffin pan, and I am going to go ahead and pop in some of my silicone liners. This makes cleanup so easy, and it really helps whatever I'm cooking not to stick to my pan. If you don't have these, no problem. You just gotta make sure to grease your muffin pan really well. Next, I'm going to take 1 biscuit and I'm going to press it into the cavity of each little muffin cup. Now, if your biscuits are really big, you might want to go ahead and cut them in half because you don't want this to be overflowing with dough. You want to make sure to have enough space for your toppings. Now, as you can see, I've created a little cavity in the center, and in here I'm just going to add a little bit of sauce, followed by the mozzarella cheese. And then, of course, those mini pepperonis. I really like the mini ones for this. I think they are super cute, but regular size pepperonis would also work. Now, to fancy these up just a little bit, I'm going to go ahead and sprinkle some Italian seasoning right on the top before I pop these into the oven. Now, you guys, these cook pretty quickly, just about 12 minutes or so. And of course, you could serve these nice and hot, but they're also good at room temperature, which makes them perfect for throwing into a lunch. You could even make a big batch of these and freeze them. That way you could just pull out a couple at a time to throw into lunches. So now that the main course is done, I'm going to move on to Shelly's fruit. Today she picked out grapes, so I'm just going to fill this entire container with as many as I can fit. And then for the vegetable, I'm going to add a combination of carrots and celery. For the carrots, I'm just using baby carrots, so it's nice and easy, no chopping involved. And for the celery, I've just cut them to be about the same size as the carrots. Now, of course, to go along with the carrots and celery, I'm also adding a small container of ranch. And since I'm making these lunches with teens in mind, I'm not going to be adding in a cute little sauce container. I'm just going to add in a regular one. And in this section, I've made sure to keep enough space for a little snack to go in here as well. For Shelly's lunch, she requested some pizza Pringles, so I'll go ahead and put them right in here. And then, you guys, for the sweet treat, something that I haven't had in a long time, these are the Little Debbie oatmeal cookie sandwiches. Now, I think these are really good, but you guys will have to let me know in the comments down below if you've ever tried them. Honestly, every time I see these, I can't help but think of the movie Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Let me know if you know what I'm talking about. And then finally, to complete this lunch, I'm just going to be adding in a big bottle of water to go along with it. Next up is a breakfast themed lunch, and this one is also going to be meat free and dairy free. First, I'm going to be adding this coconut yogurt. This is a strawberry banana flavored yogurt. And to get it to fit better into this lunchbox, I'm going to add it to a separate container. To this yogurt, I'm also going to be adding some birthday cake flavored granola and a strawberry heart on top. Next, I'm going to be filling in all around the yogurt with lots of fruit. So things like kiwi, grapes, blueberries, and strawberries. For the veggie, I'm adding some cucumbers. These are actually mini cucumbers. To go along with the yogurt and the fruit, I'm also adding a strawberry banana vegan muffin. And you guys, I will go ahead and link this recipe down below if you want to make this yourself. And it's actually a really easy recipe because you start by putting everything in a blender first. For the salty snack, I'm going to be adding a bag of these hippies. And then last but not least, for the drink, I got a brand new, healthier soda to try. And this one is strawberry vanilla flavored. Now actually, these would be really good for breakfast or lunch. You could serve them hot or at room temperature. For this recipe, I'm using 1 pound of sausage. This is already cooked and drained. I'm using turkey sausage, but you can use whatever kind you want. I'm also going to be using 1 package of cream cheese and 2 packages of crescent dough. Now I really like the crescent sheets because I think it's a lot easier, but you could also use the regular crescent dough. You'll just need to pinch together the seams so that you have one big sheet of dough. So in a separate bowl, I'm going to combine the room temperature cream cheese with the sausage, and I'm just going to mix the two together. Now I'm going to go ahead and set that aside and grab my baking sheet. And I am going to go ahead and put down a little piece of parchment paper just to make it a little bit easier to clean up when I'm done. I've preheated my oven at 375 degrees, and now I'm ready to open up my first package of dough, and I'm really just going to roll this out, and it's going to stay in this rectangle shape. Next, I'm going to take the cream cheese and sausage mixture, and I'm going to spread it as evenly as I can all over the dough, but I'm not actually taking the mixture all the way to the edges. I'm making sure to leave a little bit of the edges out. Now I'm going to very carefully open up my second package of dough, and I'm going to try my best to get this on top as evenly as I can. No worries if it's not completely straight, it'll be totally fine. So now I'm going to go ahead and take a fork, and I'm going to just kind of crimp the edges together a bit. And now it's ready to cook. Now if you wanted to, you could also add a little bit of an egg wash on top of here. That would definitely help give it a lot of color. But today I'm just keeping it simple, and I'm going to cook it in the oven for about 15 to 20 minutes. Now once this is out of the oven and it's had a little bit of time to cool down, you can go ahead and cut it into little squares. I'm going to go ahead and add these squares into the lunchbox, and then I can move on to the fruit. On this side, I'm going to add some strawberries that I've cut into hearts. And over on this side, I'm adding some pineapple chunks. For Alexandra's vegetables, she requested some sugar snap peas, so I did go ahead and trim the edges off of them. And then to go along with these, I'm also adding in a container of ranch to this section. And then over in the front section of this lunchbox, I'm going to be adding in some veggie straws. These are a delicious snack. And then for her treat, she requested yogurt. And you guys, I recently saw these new yogurt tubes at Target. I'm not sure if they're good or not, but we're going to give them a try. And then the very last thing I'm adding into Alexandra's lunch is just some water. Now you guys, I would love to know in the comments down below, what is your idea of the perfect lunch? I hope that these lunches that I've shared have inspired you to make some fun lunches for yourself. Again, I want to thank Boxu for sponsoring today's video, and I will link all of their information in the description box below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.